Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing today? I hope you're fine because I'm also doing well here. Today I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful ruched skirt, and some call it drawstring skirt. Okay, so it's a beautiful one and you can wear it in several ways. Yeah, you can see how I'm doing this. Okay, so it's a very easy skirt to make. Okay, but the thing is that you just need to get some things right, so that is what I'll be showing you today. So if you like, you can ruch the top part of the skirt, or the mid part, or the bottom part of the skirt, and if you like, you can wear it just as an hairline skirt. It's beautiful in any of those ways. Okay, trust me guys, we're going to do justice to this once again. All right, so I'll be showing you how I made this skirt. Okay, so these are the pictures of the various ways by which you can wear it. Okay, and I hope you're taking fashion inspirations from this as well. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and also turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any tutorial. Let's get to the tutorial, guys. So guys, you remember this pattern from the last tutorial? Okay, yes, so that is what we're going to use for this tutorial. This is the front and then this is the back as well. Okay, so I'm using this jersey fabric. Okay, it's a jersey material. Okay, and then the first thing we're going to do is to fold the fabric into two. All right, remember the patterns, the front and the back don't have the same dimension. All right, so I'll be cutting them separately. All right, I can't cut them together because they don't have the same dimension. Okay, so one other thing I want you to know as well is that I want the skirt to have a band of 2 inches. All right, I don't want it to be too high up in my waist. Okay, so I'll be deducting 1 inch from the length of this skirt. Okay, so I'll be measuring 1 inch, okay, downwards, and then I'll be folding the paper. All right, so that is what I'm doing here. So after folding the paper, what I'm doing here is just to pin the paper to the fabric so that it doesn't move. Okay, the next thing is to increase the width of the hem of my skirt. All right, I don't want it to just be an ordinary straight skirt. Okay, I want it to have a little bit of flare. Okay, so what I've done there is to measure 3 inches. Okay, I've increased the hem by 3 inches. Okay, so what I'll be doing is to connect the points together. So now I'll be connecting the waist to the hips. All right, my normal waist to the hips, and then the waist to the new hem. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just to use my chalk to trace out the pattern on the fabric. Okay, so that I can remove the pattern later on. Okay, and then work directly with the fabric. Okay, so after tracing out the fabric, I'll be cutting it out just like this. But before I finish cutting it out, I'm going to measure the darts. Okay, remember we added darts to the pattern that we made. All right, and that is going to increase my waistline, and I don't want this skirt to have a dart. It's a free skirt, so I'll be removing the darts, okay, from the waist of the skirt. Okay, from the side. Okay, so I measured it and it was 0.5 inch. all right, so I'll be marking 0.5 inch on the fabric this way, and then I'll be connecting it to the hips line. All right, so after doing that, I'll be cutting out that little portion. Okay, the essence of doing this is to ensure that the waist measurement is not more than my waist measurement. All right, so after doing this, you can just remeasure your waist, okay, to ensure that you have the correct waist measurement. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to curve the hem of the skirt a little. All right, because I increased the width of the bottom, it is going to give me one sharp edge if I should cut it just straight. All right, so I'll be going up by 1 inch, okay, just like this, and then I'll be connecting it to the hem of the skirt. All right, just like this. This curve is going to give my skirt a curved shape. All right, it won't just have sharp edges. All right. So to construct the back, I'll also be folding my fabric into two, and I'll be placing my back pattern on it just like this. Okay, so just like we did for the front pattern, I've measured 1 inch downward already, and I've folded my pattern. So the next thing I'm going to do is to increase the width of my skirt. Okay, so I'll be increasing the width of my skirt by 3 inches. I apologize that you can't see that part. I didn't know my camera wasn't showing it fully. Okay, so I'll be increasing by 3 inches, and then I'll be connecting my hips to the new point at the hem. All right, and also I'll be reducing my waistline, okay, with the amount of dart that is on the pattern. Okay, so I've measured it, okay, and that is 0.5 inch as well. Okay, so I'll be taking 0.5 inch away from the side of my skirt. Okay, I won't be touching the zipper side. Okay, I'll be doing all alterations from the other side of the skirt, okay, not from the zipper allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to cut out my skirt, okay, so that I'll be able to do all my alterations. At the hem of my skirt, just like I did for the front, I'll be marking 1 inch upward, okay, and then I'll be connecting it to the hem line of the skirt, okay, and that is what will give my skirt a curve feel at the bottom. All right, so back to the waistline, I'm reducing the waistline by 0.5 inch, which was what I measured on the dart earlier. Okay, and then I'll be connecting it to the hips. Okay, now we have our fabric ready to be sewn. So now to the other components of the skirt. We need 2 straps, we need the casing for the straps, and then we need the band for the skirt. Okay, except your skirt is going to be a bandless one. All right, but I want this to have a band, so I've cut a fabric that is 5 inches wide. Okay, I'll be using ½ inch on both sides to attach it to the main skirt, and then I'll be folding the remaining 4 inches into 2. Okay, so the band will be 2 inches wide. Okay, so I'll be folding it this way, and I'll be attaching it to the skirt. So now to the casing for the straps. Okay, the length of the casing is the length of my skirt minus 2 inches. Okay, and I'm deducting 2 inches because of the hem of the skirt. The casing actually shouldn't run into the hem of the skirt. Okay, it should be about 1 inch above the hem of your skirt. All right, so guys, let me tell you something about the casing quickly. Okay, so the casing must be wide enough to hold the straps. Okay, the straps also should be wide enough to fit into the casing, okay, in such a way that after fitting it into the casing, it does not make the skirt bulgy. Okay, and also it should fit in such a way that you can pull up the skirt, okay, without it pulling down, okay, without it slacking. Okay, we don't want the skirt to slack when we pull it up. Okay, we want it to hold firmly. All right, so the next thing now is to determine where to put the casing. All right, because it is wherever you put the casing that you're going to put the straps, and that is where you ruche. Okay, so now you can put the casing on the side of your skirt, okay, just on the seam. You can put it on the center front, and you can put it on the mid part of your tie, okay, whether the left or the right. So whatever you want actually depends on you. Okay, and whichever style it is, whichever way you put it, I'm sure it's going to come out beautiful, as long as that is what you want. So now back to this skirt. Okay, I want to ruche the mid part of my tie. Okay, so to get that position, I will be measuring the distance between the side of my skirt and the center front. All right, but remember on the pattern we put a 1 inch allowance. Okay, so I'm removing that. I'm actually removing that. That is the mark I'm making. So the distance between that mark for the seam allowance and my center front is about 7.25 inches. Okay, so now I'm marking the midpoint. So it is that midpoint I'm going to draw into a straight line from my waist down to the hem of my skirt. All right, ensure that the line is straight, okay, so that when you ruche the skirt, the ruche will come out perfectly. All right, so just to demonstrate what we are going to do, okay, I'll be placing the midpoint of the casing right on that line, and then I would sew it down. All right, so if you have a serger, you can serge the edges of the casing first. All right, and if you don't have, you can just fold it in. All right, you can fold it in one time is fine. Okay, since it will be enclosed, it won't be showing outside, you can fold it in 1/2 inch on both sides, and then you sew it down. All right, but then I'll be sewing the midpoint, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is. I have sewn the casing to the skirt. Okay, I've also serged the edges of the casing. All right, okay, so as you can see now, this is the edge. Okay, I've serged it. Like I said, if you don't have an overlocker, you can just fold it inward, okay, 1/2 inch, and then you sew it down. All right, so this is the midpoint. Okay, as you can see, have sewn it down on the skirt, okay, on the front part of the skirt. Okay, so that part is sorted now. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the edges down on the skirt. Okay, so ensure that you use a matching thread. All right, also ensure that the space you have in between the casings, okay, is enough to contain the straps, okay, each of the straps. All right, don't forget that. So after turning my strap, what I have is 1 inch. Okay, so I have to ensure that the space that I will have on both sides of the casing, okay, is 1 inch. All right, so that it will contain my strap. Okay, it mustn't be more than 1 inch, and it mustn't be less than 1 inch. In summary, ensure that the width of your strap is the same as the width of each side of the casing. Okay, so now I have attached the casing completely onto the fabric, and as you can see 3 lines, 2 on the edges and 1 in the middle point. Okay, so this space is actually for the straps. Okay, so I'll be putting the straps inside that hole, okay, the hole that we have created. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put the straps inside the holes of the casing. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm actually using a bobby pin because I find it more easy to use. Okay, so I'm putting it through the hole from one end to the other. Okay, and I'll ensure that at least 1 inch of the strap is dangling at the other end of the skirt. Okay, so guys, after fixing both straps, you see what we have. Okay, so the upper part of the skirt, which is the waistline, has about 1 inch, okay, of the strap dangling, and then the lower part of the skirt has about 7 inches, okay, of the straps left. All right, so you see what the right side of the skirt looks like here. The straps laying flat inside the casing, okay, and it's not causing any bulging at all. All right, so that was why I said that the width of the holes in the casing must be the same as the width of the strap, okay, so that it will be firm inside it and not bulging, and also it would not slack. All right, so you see the ruching effect is already forming. It has even formed. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve. So you see how easy it is to make the skirts. So after fixing the straps, the next thing I'm going to do is to join the back of the skirt to the front of the skirt. Okay, so I'll be using a 1 inch allowance, okay, and that's the allowance that's on the pattern of the skirt that we made. I'll be using a 1 inch allowance to join both pieces of fabric together. Okay, so I'll place the back of the skirt on the front of the skirt, okay, right side facing right side, and then I'll join the sides. So after joining the sides of the skirt, I'll be attaching the band to the waist of the skirt as well, and then I'll also be fixing the zipper to the skirt. Okay, I want the zipper to run right from the band. Okay, I don't want to put any other form of fastener, okay, so the zip is all right. And then after fixing the zip, I will be finishing the hem of the skirt. So this is what the skirt looks like, okay, and this is the inside of the skirt. All right, you see I attached the zipper from the band of the skirt, okay. I used an invisible zipper, okay, and then I have also finished the hem. So this is what the front looks like. This is the casing of the strap, okay. You see how well the ruche is forming, okay. So now the skirt is made, you can go ahead and style it anyhow you want it, okay. You see the lines that we made, you see it's not even visible, okay. That's why I say you should use a matching thread, okay. So you can ruche the lower part of the skirt, you can ruche the mid part, you can ruche the top part, and you can even wear it without ruching any part, okay. It's beautiful in any way, all right. So you see the back of the skirt, okay. You see how well it is laying on the buttocks, and it is not too tight, neither is it loose, okay. You see how well it is laying on the buttocks, okay. So this is what a skirt should look like. If you have not seen the tutorial for the pattern, please go ahead and watch my video. Thank you very much for joining me today again. Thank you for watching this tutorial, okay. Please like the content, share it, all right, and then you can also put down your comments, okay. I'm going to check them and respond, okay. Thank you very much. Please make your skirt and let me see what it looks like. See you next time. Bye.